Hello, and welcome back to another Blindside podcast. Today's topic will be about music. I recently found an old hard drive I used to use in college, and it's got some of my coursework on it. So the one song I'm going to show you, I think it's about 2 years ago now. It was one of my first piece of coursework I handed in at college, so I just thought I'd show you that one. There's recently been a new album out by a band called Billy Talent. It's called Afraid of Heights, and it's pretty cool. I was just going to give a quick review on that one. And then I've been watching a couple of TV shows. Basically, the songs on these TV shows are pretty cool. I really like them. So I thought I'd just show you them songs on the TV shows or films I've seen. And then some other music I've been listening to recently. But before I start going into the music and things, I just thought I'd explain about the fact that I can't just shove this music into the podcast itself because of the legal reasons and copyright and things like that. So what I'm going to do is put it into a Spotify playlist, and I can link it down in the description, and I'll link it with the Facebook post as well. And you can listen to the music afterwards or join the podcast or whatever. Fun fact for you guys. Because in the UK, you write a song or whatever and you release it, it's copyrighted for 70 years. So basically anything during those years, you'd have to pay royalties to the artist or whatever for playing the music or distributing the music or whatever. After 70 years, it becomes like public property, so you can use it whenever you like. Just thought I'd let you know that one. Moving on to the background music, how I've got this background music in the podcast. This is royalty-free music. I don't have to pay anything for this one. It's a website called freemusic.org, and people create music and upload it there, and you can use it for commercial use or whatever use you need to use it for, like background music, or you can use it for remixing and things like that with your own music or whatever. You can put your spin on it if you want to. Basically for DJs and things like that. It's a really cool website. The only thing you have to do with this is you have to explain where you got it from, so it's called an attribute license. You have to say who the music is by and whatever. I've always put it in the description. This song that I tend to use is called Step On by Jazia, I think it is how you pronounce it. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but that's the background music you hear. I'll link that in the description as well. I always have it in the description anyway for the legal things. So moving on, this, like I said before, this song I wrote was 2 years ago in college. The song's called Lullaby. I guess you can figure out why it's called Lullaby when you hear the song. This is my song, basically. I'll shut up and I'll give you a clip of it, so enjoy. So, there you go. That was Lullaby. I never know really what to say after I've shared some more of my music. I just kind of say, here you go, listen to it, see you later. But anyway, moving on. Afraid of Heights is the album by Billy Talent. Just thought I'd give you a bit of a background to Billy Talent. They formed in the 90s, I believe it's like 93 or 94 or something like that. And they've been going for however many years it is until now. Such great songs by Billy Talent. I never really listened to them until like a couple of months ago after Download Festival. I saw them at Download Festival this year. I think they played after Skin Dread. I think me and my brother went, and we worked at Download Festival, and then we can go and see some bands after our shift's over. So we went to see Skin Dread and Billy Talent on that day. I think it was a Saturday, or it could have been the Sunday. I can't remember. It's been a while. Yeah, they were really good. It was a really good show to watch. They got the audience involved, and they kind of made everyone sing along and jump around. It was a good show. It's a good atmosphere to be. And it started raining and everything else, and I think they dedicated their set to somebody. I don't know if they dedicated their set to like some shooting in America, I think, whenever that was around the time. Some of the songs on the Spotify playlist include the single, the latest single is Louder Than the DJ. That's a good song. Some of the songs that I like from Billy Talent, Rusted From the Rain, Devil on My Shoulder. I've got those on the Spotify playlist if you wanted to listen to them. The great thing about Spotify is if you find a track, you can save it for later or whatever, and you can like click on the artist and like listen to more of their music or their album or whatever. So it's a great tool to use. But if you can't get on Spotify, you can always look it here on YouTube. So there's a couple of tracks on the Blindside Podcast playlist on Spotify, so if you want to listen to those, go ahead. The next tracks, or like the next songs that I want to show you, a couple of people I know like bluesy rock, kind of folk-ish songs, so I thought these would be a great thing to show you. These next songs are from Sons of Anarchy TV show. I recently watched all of that, so that's a great TV show if you want something to binge watch for a while. It's basically about a biker gang in a fictional place in California, I think it is, and then it's basically just the vice president of the club trying to be the president when he gets the patch and things like that. It just follows a really good story. It's a really good story. It kind of like grips you from the start, I guess. Anyway, the music, I've put this on the Spotify playlist. This is the first songs on the list. The first song on the list is This Life by Curtis Stiggers, I think is how you pronounce it. This is the main theme song for the show. This is a good one. I really like these. The next one is called The Lost Boy by Greg Holden, and I really like this song. It's really nice. It's like a slowy, I want to call it like a slow rock song or ballad or something like that, but I think it's just the voice. I think the voice is really great. I really like the voice. So like once I've heard this song on the show, I went and looked up the artist. He's called Greg Holden, and there's some such great songs by Greg Holden as well. I haven't put them on the list or anything, feel free to go and listen to any more of those. Some more of the songs: House of the Rising Sun by the White Buffalo. That's a great song. Basically anything on this playlist, it's just I've really liked it, and I've decided just to put it in. There's another one called Family by Noah Gunderson, and Noah Gunderson I really like acoustic songs, and it's my new favourite thing at the minute to listen to like acoustic based songs. So this song's great. I really love this song, and the next song on the playlist is called First Defeat, but this isn't on Sons of Anarchy at all. This is basically, I was just looking through Spotify and I found Noah Gunderson's Spotify page, and I just listened to some because I really liked the one on Sons of Anarchy, and this one, I really love this one. So First Defeat is great, so I've decided just to put that into the playlist, just so you can listen to something else that isn't on Sons of Anarchy. But also towards the end of Sons of Anarchy, I can't remember which season it is, it's either season 6 or season 7, Ed Sheeran does a song, and I really like Ed Sheeran, so I thought I'd put that in. It's called Make It Rain. I'm pretty sure it's a cover. I think I'm not too sure on like the origin of like the songs or anything, so I just kind of shoved that into the playlist, and it's really nice to listen to. It's a great track as well. There's 7 seasons of Sons of Anarchy at the minute, and I think the creator is on about doing a prequel to the show, and he's either doing a spin-off show with another biker gang in the show itself. So there's going to be a bunch of things out from Sons of Anarchy, like world or whatever you want to call it. So that's about it for Sons of Anarchy. There's just a couple of, I just like picked a couple of songs and just shoved them in so you can have a listen. There are the Sons of Anarchy albums on Spotify, so you can listen to those if you want to, or you can listen to them on YouTube. I'm pretty sure if you just search them up, you'll probably be able to find them. The next TV show is called Peaky Blinders. These two shows are quite violent, so if you're a younger viewer, I think it may not be suitable for younger people, but these two shows, they are quite violent. Sons of Anarchy and Peaky Blinders, they are quite violent because it's like gang culture. The Peaky Blinders TV show is kind of, it's loosely based on a 1920s gang from Birmingham, in the UK, in Birmingham. They originally, I think they were just like petty criminals and just did some theft and basically just stealing things and just beating people up, really, I guess. And I'm not 100% sure if they were actually like bookmakers or anything. So, for people who don't know what a bookmaker is, it's basically an illegal betting shop. In the show, they run it out of their own home in the first season, and it's just like petty crimes and things. But the third season aired at the start of this year, and it's pretty cool. It's only 6 episodes in the season, but they're like an hour each, and it's another good show to watch if you're interested in like gang things, I guess. Personally, I just kind of like period drama things anyway, like old things, and it's really interesting to watch. It's kind of based loosely on the original Peaky Blinders in Birmingham, but it's obviously exaggerated for TV and drama series. The music on it isn't from that sort of time period, it's more of today's music. It's like an indie soundtrack to it. But the music, I'm usually one who really hates that type of thing, and like if it's not set in present day, they shouldn't use present day music. But to me, the music on the show really works when it like appears like in the TV show. There's only like 2 bands that I've just put on the Spotify playlist. One is Royal Blood, and they're pretty cool. I really like those. And Arctic Monkeys. I don't really listen to Arctic Monkeys, but the music, I do like this album. I think it's called AM, the newest album, I think it is. I'm not sure. The music on Peaky Blinders is pretty cool, so there's a couple of songs on there. Come On Over is one by Royal Blood, and Out of the Black. I really like those two. They are really good tracks. And Are You Mine by Arctic Monkeys and Do I Wanna Know are also pretty cool. They just suit when they appear on the TV show, like when there's usually a fight scene and the upbeat music, the tempo of the tracks kind of helps with this like view they're trying to give. I think it's just very violent, I guess. That's it for those two. Also, if you're a big fan of the show Daredevil or Jessica Jones on Netflix, their soundtracks are now on Spotify as well, so I could link those in the description if you're interested. I really like Daredevil and like Jessica Jones and things. The Defenders is coming out, I believe, this year or next year. I can't remember exactly, but I'm really excited for those. They've started. Luke Cage comes out in September. I can't wait to watch Luke Cage. For those who don't know what Defender is, like the Defenders are, or like Luke Cage or whatever, Jessica Jones, it's effectively in the comics. It's Marvel comics, and effectively it's. I personally, to describe it, I call it the Avengers of Hell's Kitchen kind of thing. Because in Hell's Kitchen you have Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist as part of the Defenders of like Hell's Kitchen. So they go around and get rid of the bad guys in Hell's Kitchen. There's a quick overview of the Defenders. The next show, or slash film, because it was originally a film and then the producer wanted it into a TV show because it was so popular. The next show is called This Is England. It's about the producer Shane Meadows, if I remember correctly. Shane Meadows. It was roughly based on his life growing up, of like the skinhead culture from England. And this type of music is like reggae and ska music, or like older music from like the 70s, 80s, 90s kind of thing. I've put some on the Spotify playlist. Toots and Maytals is a good band, I really like those. Anything by them is such a good tune to listen to. The Jam is also good. I really love the song English Rose, so I've put that in the Spotify playlist. I believe that's in one of the TV shows. The Smiths, Stone Roses, like any of that type of thing, like in the 70s, 80s and 90s. I've put a couple of songs in the playlist for you to listen to as well. Basically this whole podcast is just my recommendations to listen to. I've also played a game called Life is Strange. You follow the main person called Max, and she figures out or realises that she has this rewind time, like you rewind time power kind of thing. I don't want to give too much away in the game just in case you want to play it, but you go through this telltale game. You just go through and pick choices and things like that. And it's a really good indie game. Like, it was really big a couple of months ago, and then it kind of like died out again. There's 5 episodes in each. I think it's 5 if I remember. I can't remember. It's quite dark as well. The actual game towards the end, it gets really quite dark and sinister, so it's probably not for the younger people to play, I guess. I think like if you're 16 and up it's okay to play, but anything younger than that, it's a bit weird. But anyway, the songs, 3 songs that I've just shoved on the playlist is called Crosses. This one's by a person called Jose Gonzalez, I think it's pronounced. I really like this one. It's kind of acoustically relaxing kind of thing. The next one is by Outta. I hadn't really heard of Outta until I played Life is Strange, and I really like listen to their tracks now. But this one's called Something Good. It's really cool beat to it. It's really cool musically to listen to. And next one is Foles. This song's called Spanish Sahara, and I think they're playing at Reading and Leeds this weekend, I think. So if you go in there, you can listen to Foles. Spanish Sahara is kind of like an acoustic slow track. I want to call it sad because I just like, when I hear it, I just think of the scene in Life is Strange, but I guess it depends if you want to listen to it. The rest of the playlist is just music I've been listening to recently. I've shoved a couple of En Shikari songs in there, the songs that I really like. One's called We Can Breathe in Space, I really like that one. Redshift is the latest single by En Shikari. It was out a couple of months ago. That's pretty cool. That was effectively about space and things like that, so that's a cool track to listen to. My brother showed me Bosnian Rainbows. As weird as that is, the band Bosnian Rainbows itself was made up of different people from different bands, and one is Omar Rodriguez Lopez from the band. Well, he's been in many bands, I think, like the Mars Volta, he plays guitar. Dean Tony Parks plays drums and keyboards, alongside La Butcherette's vocalist Terry and Nikki Casper. I think this was just like a little bit of a like side project, or like just something for them to do while they weren't doing something else, I guess. To me personally, I'd call them like experimental rock or art rock, punk, whatever. They're a bit weird to listen to if you haven't really heard them. I've shoved a couple of tracks on there. The tracks I like the most are Torn Maps. That's a really good one. I really like. I think it's called Turtleneck or something like that. Yeah, they're just a really weird band to listen to, but I think like if you want something new to listen to and you haven't really heard anything new, I think they're a good band to listen to. The next band is pronounced Churches, but it's spelt like really funny. It's spelt like CHVRCHES. I recently got into those after they did a song with Hayley Williams from Paramore. They did a song called Bury It. It was originally on one of the original albums, and I think they just wanted to release it again with Hayley Williams. So that's a really cool track. A couple of other Churches tracks I've put on, Leave a Trace, Empty Threat. They're off the newest album called Every Open Eye. They're pretty cool to listen to, pretty chill. If you just want something relaxing to listen to. They're kind of like a electro pop is what I'd call them, because it's not necessarily pop music as such. They are originally from Scotland, so UK music is always good. And then the last bit of the podcast, I've watched a couple music related films recently, Miles Ahead and Straight Outta Compton. Miles Ahead is about the jazz performer, Miles Davis, and Straight Outta Compton is obviously like hip hop, and in the 90s, in the 80s and 90s. I've put a couple of their music on the Spotify playlist. Obviously, the Straight Outta Compton soundtrack is going to be like really explicit because it was in the 80s and 90s of like hip hop culture, so it's going to be really quite explicit. So if you don't want to listen to those, that's okay. I just thought I'd put them on. But the Miles Ahead film is a biographical film directed by Don Cheadle. You may know him as like Iron Patriot from Iron Man and Avengers or whatever. The film is based on the life of Miles Davis, and it has Ewan McGregor in it. You may know Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi from Star Wars. It's not necessarily a linear film. It doesn't just go to the start and then go to the end. It jumps around in the timeline. So 1 minute it could be like a flashback scene where he walks through a door, and then it's some old scene that he's remembering or whatever, and then he'll walk through another door and it's like the present day, well, air quotes, present day kind of film that it's set in. The film itself shows the time when Davis attempts to get back into music following the inactivity in the 70s due to like drug addiction, and Ewan McGregor's character is like a fictional journalist, and obviously it's going to be like exaggerated film and Hollywood, but it's a good like DVD if you're into like film stuff, because I don't know a lot about like film techniques and things. It's really interesting to see like how they use like certain frames, or how they like certain cuts and edits and things like that. It's really interesting to watch if you're into that type of thing. So I can't explain it well enough to give it justice, but it's a great DVD if you want to go and watch it. It's the way it jumps around and the way it kind of uses cutscenes, and it's really artistic the way it's done. It's really great. The other film, Straight Outta Compton, obviously it's exaggerated slightly, but I think majority of it is similar to what happened, or they've added something in and taken something out. It's vaguely similar to what happened, I believe. It's Straight Outta Compton is the biographical film of how the hip hop artists NWA started. I don't want to give too much of it away in case you want to watch it. I do believe this is like a higher rated film, so you might not be able to watch it, and obviously it's going to be like explicit and things like that. The story of it is Dr. Dre. Well, I'll explain who was in NWA. Hip hop artists called Eazy-E, Ice Cube, and Dr. Dre. They all kind of worked together in like the 80s and things like that. And Dr. Dre wanted to be a DJ and mix the like scratching techniques on vinyl and things like that. Dr. Dre really liked it and wanted to be a DJ. And then he wanted to mix Ice Cube's rap lyrics reflecting on the crime and gang violence and police harassment they encounter like on a daily basis. They kind of just like made a track. I think it's called Boys in the Hood. Boys in the Hood. It was their first original song they made. Dr. Dre basically convinced Eazy to start Ruthless Records, and kind of produced this track, Boys in the Hood. And after no one wanted to actually perform it, they released it themselves, and it became like a big success. And some record company, I think it was Columbia Records, I'm not sure which record company it was, someone came to them and they were like, yeah, we can kind of get you started on your career or whatever. So basically the NWA is made of Eazy-E, Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, DJ Yella and MC Ren, and they form NWA. And Straight Outta Compton, the album, came out in 1988. Some of the songs you've probably heard, Straight Outta Compton and Gangster Gangster and things like that. Obviously they're going to be explicit because it was in the 80s and hip hop culture then was a bit, it was basically just about the crimes and things that was happening in their life at the time, so they just decided to make an album about it. The film is pretty cool. It was actually Ice Cube and Dr. Dre and Eazy-E's widow. I think she's called Tamika, I think. They decided to make this biographical film, and I think it's been in like production for years, and they wanted to make it for years, so it was released last year, I think it was, or the start of this year. I can never remember the dates, but that's also a good film, like biographical film, if you wanted to watch it, if you like hip hop. So yeah, that's my music recommendations. I'll leave it there for now. So I hope you've enjoyed this podcast, and see you next time.